What's up, everybody? Once again, it is I, James, coming to you from the Nerdy Musings podcast studio. And once again, I am joined by colorist extraordinaire, Mr. Steve Cannon. How you doing
Let's
tonight,
go.
Steve? Look at
I'm
that.
doing good, man.
Rock star status over here.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, lots been going on since the last time you were on here. Probably some of the things you couldn't talk about have already occurred since the last time you were on. I think
Yes.
some of those covers you were coloring and the things the news broke on those, didn't it?
Yeah. A, a lot of the stuff that I couldn't talk about before is already coming out or has been announced, so I'm a little more free to discuss.
Nice. Let's talk. Let's kick it right out the gate. Let's start strong. Let's talk about a little of that stuff.
Cool. I think the last time I had hinted something about like some Danny Earls stuff.
Yep.
So some of that has come out. He's doing a series with McFarlane for Sam and Twitch.
Yes.
I've done a couple covers for that with him and possibly some more stuff.
Possibly maybe something in the works. More
Yeah,
news to keep people hanging on for the next
yeah,
time you're on.
possibly. Also, I think it's 369. Well, hold on. I have to double check.
Yeah, don't be
But I have, sorry, let me check my
no worries.
phone just to make sure it's the right issue.
You don't want to
Oh,
break the news about the one that you can't talk about. You got to make sure you talk about the one you can talk about, dude.
yeah. So 369, Spawn 369. It'll be my first Spawn covers for the main title, and I have cover A and cover B
Nice.
with Raymond Gay and Danny Earls. So I'm very excited about that. That's gonna be a big one.
That is two amazing artists to work over. What was it like coloring over their stuff, man?
Well, I mean Raymond, I've been
Or
working with him
coloring
for
or coloring under, so we properly use our layering terms.
yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes it's over
Sometimes
too.
you might be hitting those line holds and doing some things.
Yeah, for
Color
sure.
holds on the lines.
Yeah, I mean Raymond Gay, I mean the dude's blowing up right now. He's one of the best artists in the business right now. I'm
Yeah.
so thankful and happy to be able to work with him. His stuff is amazing. He makes the job easy. I just have to make sure I don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with Danny, it's like the same thing, you know. His compositions, his drawings are all so put together. A lot of architecture, cool posing,
That
a lot of
architecture
vibes.
is next level, man.
Yeah, and I love that stuff. Like for me, it's like, you know, give me more buildings.
He's he's the guy to go to if you're looking to work on that type of stuff because I'm sure you've seen some of his process stuff, like
Mhm.
his layout process of laying all of that down and the grids and the perspective
Yeah.
lines and everything. It's just like I think he's came didn't he come from like an architectural background? I think he had some did some type of architectural study or something. I heard
I'm
that
not
somewhere.
sure.
It
I
would,
know
it
he was
would,
a
it,
soccer player.
yeah, but I think he did something involving architecture, but I could be wrong. But it would make
Mm,
sense if that's the case because
yeah.
his background work is next level, man.
Oh yeah, it's insane. I did the covers that they've shared for Sam and Twitch Gangland, his
Yeah,
mini. It's like Sam and Twitch in an alley sitting on their car, and it has this really cool like up perspective.
yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Like when I got the piece like to color, I was like, oh, let's go.
He's like the opposite of what people talk about with artists a lot of times. Oh, he never draws backgrounds. And he's like, let me show you guys. You want to see
Oh yeah.
backgrounds?
Oh yeah.
Just
And
knocking
he's
it
like
out
the
of the
nicest
park.
guy. Like of all the people that I work with, like he's one of the nicest people I've ever talked to
Yeah.
online and everything. So,
You want to know what's funny in that regard? Because this goes along right with that sentiment. I want to say it was your episode or it was one of the ones that I know he watched, and he messaged me. He's like, man, I feel so bad because I heard you say on there that I committed to coming on and I haven't scheduled. I'm like, bro, it's all good. I understand the deadlines and being busy. I'm like,
Yeah.
look at you. You're doing so much stuff. I don't expect you to have the time to come on here. Just the fact that you care, though, is really cool, you know?
Hmm.
So he'll end up on here one day. We'll get him on.
Yeah, I mean, you've been having some big guests on here too, man. I'm
And
keeping
some,
tabs, bro. I'm keeping tabs.
and some big ones that I'll leave a surprise and I won't even talk about. I'll be like you. I'll be like, I can't talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
there's more coming up.
Canetti, like that's
Canetti was huge.
yeah.
Yeah, and I talked about it on that one. Sean Crystal will be coming on too. So
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to collect the whole Ink Pulp crew. So now I
Nice.
just got to get a hold of Maddie. I got to get a hold of Mateo and
Oh,
get him
that'd be a
on
good one.
here.
That'd be a good one.
And then who's the other one? Jim Food. Like he's
Mm,
always on the Ink Pulp, so I got to get him on. So yeah, I'm manifesting.
nice. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that podcast. I listen to that stuff all the time when I'm working.
They're amazing. They do such a good job with the artists they have on there, and I always like when other artists are speaking, you know, with their peers and things, and the stuff that they choose to ask them, and in the process they talk, and they have that mutual understanding of the industry. That's always
Yeah.
really cool to hear broken down because it's like behind the curtain, right? Like when you start
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
on the inside, like you have a different understanding than someone, you know, who's maybe just now getting into the industry or somebody that's been
Hmm.
there for years. It's probably quite a bit of a difference, right?
Yeah. I also like that they talk a little bit about business because that's a kind of a
Yeah.
topic that nobody really likes to get into.
Yes.
And so when people like that give you a little bit of insight into like how the business works and like the actual like
Yeah.
money part of it, it's a really like helpful. Like Sean Murphy does that too, where
He does.
he'll
Yeah.
just talk about the business. I'm like, okay, like
Well, and it's so important too because we have what some people would refer to as a jobby, like a hobby job, you know, because I would be doing jujitsu whether I was doing it for my livelihood, and I'm sure you would probably be doing something in art and coloring books for fun and delving into that, even if you weren't getting paid to do it. So,
yeah.
what's funny, what I find with that is the outside world that doesn't really understand what we do, they look at it as, oh, like you just teach or oh, you just color. Like it doesn't connect
Hmm.
with it that it's a business. I have to
Yeah.
make my
Yeah.
livelihood with this way. Like this is my
Yeah.
actual job. Do you ever find that? Do you ever find
Oh
that
my
kind of
God.
come up from time to time?
I honestly, when I'm like hanging out with people that are just like regular people,
The
the
casuals.
moment they ask me about like, oh, so what do you do? I'm just so I color.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, what?
They're like adult
It's
coloring books. What are you doing?
I try to just be like, oh, I'm an artist, but then they want to dig deeper because that sounds
Yeah,
cool. And then I mean, it's not like I'm ashamed of it or anything like that, but it's hard for them to grasp that first off, that comic books are made by like people,
yeah, and it's not
or that
just
they're
one
even still
person.
being made.
Yeah, and it's not just one person doing all of it.
Yeah,
Like I
so
heard,
it,
I heard, I've heard, I think it was Rob Liefeld talking about how people would go up to Stan Lee and say, "Man, I just don't know how you were able to draw and write all those books at the same time."
yeah, yeah,
Not
I
making
mean,
that
I think
connection.
partly the industry is a little bit to blame for that because they don't
Yeah,
um
doesn't really delineate
yeah, and
all the
they
different
usually
pieces.
push like the artist and the writer, which I mean rightfully so. They're the ones that, without the writer and without the artist, there's no job for anybody else on the team.
Yeah,
So, I understand like the hierarchy of it, but the industry could do a better job at like shining the light at some of the other people who
yeah,
help to put a big part of the book together.
they could. I do hear a lot of whisperings about the fact that they are scared of putting the spotlight too much on the creators after what happened with the image voice.
I mean, it's been like 25 years or something.
I've
Like, I
heard
think
it.
we can
I've
get
heard it's
past
a
that one.
never again. Ain't ever happening again. They're like, we're gonna
Hey,
make
but they're not
sure.
afraid to push it when it's
Yeah.
when it's
But
gonna bring in the dollars.
what's cool is though you're seeing guys like Sean Gordon Murphy and Daniel Warren Johnson and these people going, and they've done work for the big publishers, but they also do their own stuff. And
Yeah,
if they do something for the big publishers, the big publishers have to pay them the kind of money that they deserve now, because they've
yeah.
built that they built their own brand and
Hmm.
gotten to that level. So I think there's a lot of different routes that you can go nowadays of making a name for yourself and not necessarily being tied to, oh, I'm only successful if I get on with Marvel or
Right.
DC.
I think it's all kind of like a closed loop
Yeah.
because you start off small and then you get into the big two, you build your name a bit, then you can come out of the system, do your own thing, build your name further, and come back into the system and demand a different
Yeah,
pay scale, let's say,
definitely.
because you've kind of gone through the whole cycle. But it's, unless you're like an influencer or something, like it's hard to start off
Yeah.
with that,
Yeah, unless you've had
without that
something.
exposure that you get from being on a, big two book or something. It's,
Definitely.
you know,
Yeah, like take Danny, as an example, like being on Hulk, now doing stuff for McFarlane, like that's just
mhm.
like he was doing well before, like early on getting in, like people were starting to know who he was, but now it's just
Yeah,
like the demand is like through the roof now.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's great because with this business, it's like at the end of the day, no matter who you are, you're still kind of a freelancer unless
Yeah.
you set up, like Invincible or something where you kind of your
Yeah.
own machine.
Robert is one of the most lucky, and I say this in a tongue-in-cheek way because he's not lucky. Like
Hmm.
he's to have this many properties that have been a great success like
Yeah.
early on in his career is pretty astonishing.
Yeah. And he's a kind of an odd one because he started off at Image
Yes.
and then went into Marvel
With
and
like
did a little
what do you do,
bit.
like Battle
He did
Pope
Marvel
and stuff like
Zombies.
that,
Yeah,
and
yeah, in the beginning.
yeah, and the Image stuff, yeah.
And he didn't need the big two to get up there with his like popularity, but he still
Yeah.
did a little bit,
Yes.
you know.
And now everybody is scrambling and going back and trying to find all those old Invincible issues that some of us
Hmm.
OGs were collecting from day one because we loved Ryan Otley's art and Cory Walker's
Yeah.
art. And we just happened to be sitting on a virtual gold mine of comics and
Yeah.
some of us some very awesome original art.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah, I
because
mean,
we loved the comic and we loved the artwork, and now it just happened to be it got picked up by Amazon and all these
yeah.
wonderful things have happened for Robert. But it just shows you like the ability to do it is still there, like for somebody to have a great success like that. And as Uncle Rob, Uncle Rob Liefeld would say, he would say, now is the time for these guys to pop off and do their own thing. Like now's the
Hmm.
time for Danny. He's got the heat. Now he needs to jump and do his own creator own thing and really
Yeah.
control his own properties and develop his library of characters and
Right.
follow that old kind of Image blueprint.
And that's the other thing too, is that not everyone is like a writer artist type person, you know? Some people
Yeah,
like, yeah, they're really good and they have the heat, but they don't even want to be a writer, you know? They need somebody
exactly.
to like team up with and then they can create something together.
Yeah.
Someone like a Mark Millar or like Rick Remender or one of those guys that like master storyteller,
Yeah.
you pair them with a guy like Danny Earls and like who knows what comes out, you know?
Exactly. Well, and that's the other cool thing is like you said, like they don't have to do it all themselves. Like they can get it paired up with somebody because again, you get that notoriety and you pitch something and you're like, Hey, Robert Kirkman, I have this idea, but I don't really know how to get it across the finish line. Can you help me?
Hmm.
Oh, sure. I've got ideas on that. Like, it's cool to see these combinations where the writer and the artist really enhance the overall story. Like,
Hmm.
did you pick up Skinbreaker?
Actually, it's coming in the mail because I had to get the big one.
Oh,
I had to get the treasury
look
one.
back there.
Yeah, my local shop is a little lacking,
Yeah, yeah.
so I have to go midtown and wait for the the mail to come.
So the reason I bring that up is because I don't know if you've seen some of the interviews with Kirkman and Finch, but basically, like, Kirkman was saying how much of the story changed and was influenced just by how David was drawing certain things.
Hmm.
Like the whole skin breaker thing and like how it came to be, there's kind of a twist in there because it's not what you would, that term doesn't kind of mean what you would think it means. And it's really
Yeah.
cool when you find out what it means. But like he came up with all of that when he saw how David drew the sword.
Yeah, yeah. I was at San Diego and I went to his panel. He was talking a little bit about it and
Yeah.
how like they've been working on it. I stopped by David Finch's booth and I was like picking his brain for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He was telling me about how like the art is like double
Huge.
up, so like a double page
Some,
spread is like
yeah,
four
sometimes
pages,
sometimes
like
like
insane.
triple up. Yeah, he was doing
Hmm.
it. He's got some of those that are like twice as big as him.
I'm gonna need a new shelf for the artist edition
Yeah, and
because you know Skybound's doing all the artist edition now, so
yeah,
I imagine the Skin Breakers artist
bro,
edition is gonna be in the works.
I'm gonna start working out just to be able to carry that thing off the porch. These
Yeah.
IDW ones about break your back, picking them up. Imagine one that's
Uh-huh.
double up. That's gonna be crazy. But we're gonna
Yeah.
buy it.
Oh, that's money already being put aside.
Yeah, speaking of the San Diego and everything, and when they were talking on the panels, and they released that preview edition, the black and white at
Hmm.
San Diego, the exclusive, and I paid way too much money for that bad boy on eBay. Double
Yeah.
signed. I had to get the double signed.
Well,
You know what? I say too much money, but to me it was worth it
yeah.
because I couldn't be there. It was cheaper than if I had flown there and gotten a hotel and all of
That's
that,
for
right?
sure.
That's a
That's
way
for
to
sure.
that's a way to justify it, right?
That's for sure. I have one, but I got it from the panel, so I only
Nice.
paid $10 for David Finch's signature.
Nice. Did you get Kirkman to sign it too?
They were all signed.
Perfect.
Yeah, so if you were at the panel, they give you a little ticket, and then you
That's
have to
so
go
cool.
to one of the hotels, and they give you one,
Giving
and then
that
signed by Robert.
love back to the
Hmm.
fans, right?
Yeah, he said he doesn't really do signings or anything, so it's like a
Yeah.
very rare thing to get his signature on stuff.
Yeah, that's the only Kirkman one I have. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never gotten a Kirkman signature before. So that's
yeah,
really
and
cool.
even like looking at that little preview, I mean, the art is shrunk like crazy, but it's still you can still see a lot of
Yeah.
the. I was asking David about that if he thinks that like the reproduction and the regular print size like lost a lot of detail. He said like yeah, a little bit, but not much.
Not too bad. Yeah. The main
Hmm.
thing I noticed with that black and white preview was that I saw that and I go, okay, this is kind of too much detail for this standard comic size. So I definitely
Hmm.
want the treasury one. And I
Yeah.
got both, but I'm like, I definitely want the treasury one. And then I immediately thought, man, this shows me what I already knew about Annalisa Leone, the
Hmm.
colorist. The fact that they put her on there, because I immediately thought it's going to be a very special colorist to really make this stuff work at that
Hmm.
smaller size. And
Yeah.
then I got the standard size colored one and she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Finch, it's like less is more,
Yeah.
you know? Like he has so much detail in there that if you go in there trying to add shadows and highlights and blah 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 and all this stuff, it's just gonna be more noise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. His rendering and like what he is creating, the the type of gradation and things he's creating with his line work alone, like you don't have to go in there and do a whole lot to show people where the light is coming from and everything else. Like that's one of the things I've studied the most of his, is how he spots blacks and how he does his rendering and pulls the lines out of the black areas to create the midtones and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Like but there's a challenge in that, right? Because you have to know, like, to not overpower it.
Yeah, I mean, and the challenge in that case is mostly a challenge to your ego,
Yeah.
you know, because you have to pull yourself out of the I'm working with David Fincher. I'm gonna get in here and
Yeah.
this
is my time to
hell out of
shine.
this thing. But the truth is, maybe this is the time to be like, hey, let's let the lines shine,
Yeah.
and we just do the vibes. We make the separate the planes, make sure everything is readable,
Yes.
and if there's room to do some cool whatever, then you do it. But it's gonna be mostly like skies or
exactly
things like that.
Yeah,
You're not gonna go in and like out hatch David Finch,
Yeah, she did some cool stuff with the background smoke and things, like some really cool line holds and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, this is where she got to kind of play a little bit with this type of stuff, and some of the architecture and they created this really cool world, and it's very vibrant, like the plants and the foliage, like all of that stuff is just like, you could tell that was the area she really got to stretch her legs on. And then, like you said, she let this figure work and everything speak for itself.
That's another thing that's tough, because if you're working on a book that's an alien world, or maybe not an alien world, but not Earth, you have to figure out a way to make the things look familiar enough where you recognize them as what they are, plants or flowers or sky or whatever, but not Earth.
Exactly.
And that can be tough,
Yeah, that can be really tough. Well, and then
I think she does Battle Beast as well, right?
Yeah, that's where I first saw her work.
Yeah, on Battle Beast, I think she does like such a great job at like, oh, this planet, the sky's pink.
I didn't
just
realize
that alone, it's like, okay, we're not on Earth.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't realize until recently that I believe she was the colorist. He first worked with her. Kirkman first worked with her on Oblivion's song.
Yeah.
And
that's another book that like,
yeah,
the coloring on Oblivion song is like super dope, and it's very minimal.
Very minimal. Yeah, and it's the cool thing is like she has a style. Like when you look at the style of coloring, it's like a colorist has a style too. Like we think of styles in reference to the person drawing the book, but a colorist has to have their own style, their own palette, their own way of expressing different things.
Even with her, like, you would think if you look at Oblivion song and you're booking for Battle Beast, you wouldn't think like, I'm gonna pick the person who did this to do a semi superhero book.
Totally.
But
it works.
Her versatility is like, okay, like on Oblivion song, I'm going pretty flat, just more vibey, more like Paper Girls type of thing. And then on Battle Beast, you got the holds, you got the glows, you got a little bit more cuts. Even though it's still, I would say Battle Beast is still pretty, like not simple, but it's not like,
it's still minimal.
It's still pretty minimal, but again,
she's not in there.
He's doing all the work.
Yeah, she's not in there making everything look shiny and glossy. Like she's still letting him do a lot of that in his art and his line work. And he with Ryan, he's, a lot of people don't realize like he did the majority of the inks when he was working on Invincible too. Like everybody kind of jumps to like, because a lot of my favorite work of his was when Cliff Rathburn was inking him. Like the way their styles melded, I love that stuff. That's like prime Invincible for me. But Ryan's inks and stuff are amazing too, and it's cool to see him. Because he's very much adopting kind of a grittier style with the inks on Battle Beast to go with that vibe. You know, the Battle Beast vibe.
Yeah.
You can't be having this slick, clean look on the line work. He's very much getting in there and getting dirty with it.
Yeah, and like oddly, for example, like I didn't get into Invincible until like the show came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew about
You
Invincible,
and a
but
lot
I
of people, yeah.
hadn't read it, and I didn't even get into Oddly until he started on Spider-Man. So like
Okay.
that's the thing about
That's
getting some work at the big two that you're like,
yeah.
you know,
I
I
love
saw him
that.
on Spider-Man and I was like, who is this guy?
I love that when you discover somebody like that, because then you can go back and you have like a treasure trove of
Yeah,
past work to delve into. You're like, oh my God, where's this been
yeah.
my whole life?
But the thing that sucks is that now like they made the show so good
Yeah.
that I'm like, I need to finish the show
Yeah.
and then I'll go back and read the books because I don't want to spoil it.
Exactly. Yeah. And the books are like, I'll put air quotes better, being somebody that came from the comics first and then went to the show, but the show is great. Like the
Yeah.
stuff they changed for the show in some areas, like it makes it even better. It doesn't take away from it. Like none of it bugged me.
I mean,
I,
like that whole conquest scene,
yeah,
battle,
they
whatever.
kept it pretty accurate to the book.
But like in the book, you don't get that like whisper.
No, no, no.
Like
That was all new.
that was like that gave me chills. I was
That was
watching, I was like,
amazing.
oh my God, this is like some of the craziest
Yep.
TV I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah. And when he made the little heart.
yeah, like I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, man, like this is like demented in like the best way. Like
Yeah.
super weird and creepy, but like, you can't look away.
Yeah. It's cool to see Kirkman be able to try things or do things that he intended to do in the comics that he never got to as well. Because, to my understanding, this whole next season delves into a story arc that he wanted to do in the comics that he never got to do. So he's going
Oh,
to be
that's cool.
using, yeah, so he's going to be using the show to tell this story that was originally intended to be told in the comics.
Mm. Yeah, and like that's another thing that like Todd says a lot too. And he's like, you know, get your book, do 50 issues, then go and chase the movies and the TV
Yeah.
and all that. Because he says it like Robert didn't make his money from the shows. He made a lot of money from it, but he's still making money from people going back and reading the comics.
Oh,
And
100%.
if you only have 12 issues out, that's all you got.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
I
you have
don't know.
100,
I don't even know how many times the trades have been reprinted and the omnibus and all of that.
yeah.
It's insane.
And I mean, those compendiums are like,
Yeah.
the best, cheapest way to get anything.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm so bummed. I do not have like issue 1. I mean, I saw it on the shelf. I remember it, but I started collecting Invincible because of Otley getting on it.
Uh,
There was a forum online called Digital Webbing back when everything was forums and text posts, and I knew Otley on there. I knew Ryan Stegman, like a bunch of guys that are now like very prominent pros. And
yeah.
I remember like when he posted on there that, hey, I finally made it. I'm doing this Invincible series. And so then from like issue 8 forward, I have them all, but that first issue, and now it's like too
Yeah.
expensive to justify getting a first print of it.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. And it's cool to see him too, like before that when he was doing Haunt
Yeah.
and like working over Capullo's layouts and stuff to see like how
I
much he,
owned I
kind of
owned
picked
a
up from
double
that.
page spread of that.
Oh,
I
that's
use
awesome.
owned past tense because I traded it to my friend Justin Mason, the amazing
Yeah.
artist that's doing the Thing book, and he's done all
I'm a
sorts
big
of
fan.
Spider Punk and everything. Yeah, he's a huge Otley and Capullo fan, and
Hmm.
I'm a huge Justin Mason fan. So I said, hey, you want to trade for this Haunt double page spread? So
Was it like inked or pencils?
it was pencils, so you could see the
Oh,
blue
because
lines.
Todd did the inks digital, didn't he?
I think so, yeah. So you could see the blue lines printed on the board from Capullo's layouts, and then you had
Nice.
Ryan's tight pencils over the top of it. It
That
was
would be
amazing.
something to get. A
Yeah,
freaking page laid out by Capullo, pencils by Audley, and inks by McFarlane.
yeah.
That's some money
That'd
right
be
there.
that's next level right there. But being with Todd mainly doing digital, I don't know that you couldn't get
Yeah.
like it would have to be a print, right? I don't
Yeah.
think he inks traditionally, to my
I think he
knowledge.
does a little. I think maybe he did for the Spawn Batman crossover. I think that stuff
Oh
was
yeah,
mostly
yeah. Because I
traditional.
remember seeing that video he had his wife post where he was like inking it like while they were taking an Uber or
Hmm.
something. He was inking some kind of page from the Spawn Batman because he had
Yeah.
to meet the deadline or whatever.
Yeah, I know I think Glapian might have done a little bit of assist in there too.
I'm sure.
But yeah, man. It's crazy, man. That comic book business is something else. And now with the retailer variants and like
Yeah.
all these other things, there's like new avenues of the business opening up. Even with like Instagram and all that stuff, you kind of I don't know, it's tough because like you get into it because you want to be an artist, you want to do art, but now you also kind of have to be like a little bit of an influencer
Yeah,
and
be your own
all
publicist,
that.
right?
It's tough, man. Like for me, that part is tough. I'm not really like a social
Yeah.
media person per se, and I have a lot of stuff going on with work and my family and all that, so
Yeah.
it's tough. But I know that that's a big part of like the modern day business with any business,
It
really.
really is. Yeah, and I wish it wasn't. It's a necessary evil, honestly. Like you
Yeah.
just if you're especially if you're your own brand, right? Like you're similar to
Mm-hmm.
me. Like we're our brand. Like my school is called Foster Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's my last
Hmm.
name. Like it's all me.
Yeah.
And then you're Steve Cannon colorist. Like you're the one
Yeah.
coloring it. So like we're our own branding, and we got
And
to
like
be
with like the AI and all that stuff coming out, it's like even more important to
scary.
be your own brand because in the future, like I don't know, I mean, this is maybe like a pessimistic view, but in the
Yeah.
future, people who want to use AI will be able to make a comic book without hiring anybody,
I
and it'll
think
probably look just as good as anything.
I think
So
they
it's
could
gonna be
almost do
more
it right
important,
now.
yeah, and it's gonna be even more important to be your brand because that way people wanna, I want my color to be done by this guy.
Yes.
I don't care, I could do it by AI, but I want this guy,
Yeah.
and that's where that all that comes in, you know?
Well, a Rembrandt is still going to be a Rembrandt, right? Like it's the
Yeah,
original. Like I think there's going to be that connection to the original. Like
yeah,
I think you notice it a lot too. Like retro collecting is such a thing now. Like people collecting
mhm,
VHS tapes and physical media again. Like
yeah,
with everything going to streaming, like people are holding on to that. And we've
yeah,
seen similar with when comics were really starting to go digital. Like people went really started collecting again and wanting the physical
yeah.
books and like maybe it's just us old folks kind of holding on to it, you know?
Well, I think honestly, like comics is one of the few businesses that is a little bit like AI proof in some ways.
Yeah.
Because yeah, of course, there's going to be people who make their books with AI or they make prints with AI or whatever. There's always going to be that. But I feel like the core of the comic book fan is so intertwined with the creative team
Yeah.
and the I like this guy's art and I like this guy's writing and like the creators are such an integral part that I don't foresee people lining up at a con for AI artists anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't either. And
You
I
know?
think they kind of made a little bit of an example out of that one person that was manning that booth that got booted out by the police not too long ago. Did you see that?
Yeah, no, I heard something about it, but I didn't really look into it.
Yeah, so there was a guy who was I think he was just running the booth. I don't think he was the prompter. Like he
Mm.
wasn't the he wasn't the one who put in the prompts to create the art, but
Uh,
it came to light that he was selling prints of AI generated stuff, and
mm,
somebody informed the event coordinator for the con, and they went
yeah,
and called the police and had him booted out of there.
because that gets even more tricky. I know, like Marvel and DC and these big companies are okay with people selling prints of art that they've done of
Yeah.
their characters because it's like people. But
Yeah.
does that change when it's AI?
Yeah,
Are
that's
they like,
crazy.
no, you're not allowed to sell AI prints at a con?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that's
and
it's a lot of unexplored questions.
what's even crazier is like this is all reliant on the fact that we can catch that it is AI generated
Hmm.
and that
And
somehow it
I
can be
think honestly,
detected or noticed.
like AI art is pretty, at least for me, it's pretty easy to be like, this is AI, just because it has a very like clean look and almost like all the finishing is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know, maybe it's bullshit and I just think I can see it, but I can't. But
I
I
could
don't know.
tell you, and I won't name names, but there's a few artists that are using it for their backgrounds
I'm sure that's going to become even more
or
prevalent.
using it to get the like basic generalization of the background and then refining it.
Tracing it on top or
Yeah,
something like
similar to
that.
how people would use Google SketchUp and have
Hmm.
the perspective and have the buildings, and then they would lower the opacity and go in and actually draw it over
Yeah,
that, but they were using it
yeah.
to set up the shot or, vehicles or whatever. So,
Hmm.
what are your thoughts on that? Like it being used like a tool, like technically, like
Yeah,
they're still doing the art, they're just using it as another tool to try to
right.
speed up their deadline driven process.
I mean, part of me wants to be like, no, like
Draw it all.
it's
Yeah.
all whatever, AI is all
You
bad,
got
but
Danny Earls over here drawing all this stuff. It takes him 20 hours to do
yeah,
the
you better show me the
Gotham.
grids. There
Yeah.
better be a page in the back of the book with all your grids.
Yeah.
But I understand that the future is gonna involve AI. Like
Yeah.
it's what it is, It's like the internet.
Genie's out
Once
of
you
the
got the
bottle.
internet, it's gonna be a thing, and the way that people are gonna use it in the future is gonna be ways that we can't even think of right now.
Yeah. Now there was
So,
I know there was a DC cover artist that was caught using it I don't know what extent they were
mhm.
using it, but I mean they got fired. So I
Yeah,
don't know like if the
I
companies
do
will
think
kind of
that if
take a
if
stance,
your
you know.
if your process is fully AI, like you're just prompting and like whatever comes out you're using as your finished art,
Yeah.
that's not art.
No.
That's just like a photo of something. Like
Yeah.
that's not real art.
But then
But
somebody will play
mhm,
devil's advocate and they'll say, look at Greg Land's work. You know who
right, but
Greg Land
everybody,
is? So
yeah,
this is like
he's
literally tracing
tracing
photos and
photos and all that.
yeah.
And then that's where it gets tricky because what's the difference between that and then you generating your own photos and tracing your photos that you
Yeah,
generated?
if I generate a figure drawing of Wolverine and then I go in and I ink it and make it a little bit different and change it
Hmm.
enough, is that the
Yeah,
same as using reference underneath and
it's
you know?
tricky. I know, especially in like music right now. That's a big thing because people
Yeah.
are doing AI generated songs. There's like whole AI
And
generated
it's
bands.
scary, right? Because some of them are actually sound really good.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like in the art where you can tell that everything is sort of like very derivative. Like
Yeah.
nothing is like fresh or,
Well,
you're
when
kind of
it's
like,
giving
oh,
you
this could
exactly
be AI.
it's giving you exactly what it thinks you want.
Right.
Like,
But then it's like, what's to stop people from being like, okay, I'm going to generate this song. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to record all the parts
yeah,
myself or whatever with my band and release it as my music. And it's like, it was
yeah,
made with AI, but the actual music was recorded by humans. So where's the difference there?
right. Well, and I think there's something, especially with any art form, in that sometimes what makes something perfect are the imperfections.
Hmm.
So if it's creating this perfect vocals, perfect the lyrics are everything's like too perfect, like it's gonna lose some of that personal characteristic that
Right.
a human being, an individual can bring to it, like with their past and their trauma that they're putting into the writing
Yeah.
and everything else, right? Like it's
Uh-huh.
not because it can only ever do stuff that's already been done
Yeah.
because
It
that's how
can't
it's trained
regenerate any new ideas. And
for now.
like,
For now, anyway.
yeah, but it's like one of those things where like, at least for me personally, the AI is what it is.
Yeah.
but I don't consume art. I consume art mostly because I like the people who make the art.
Yeah, me too.
And that's whether it's a good piece or a bad piece or whatever. Maybe, you know, this guy is like the best or this guy is not the best, but if I like something about it, I like it.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with whether it's like perfectly rendered or the lighting or whatever. It's just if I like it, I like it.
Absolutely. Let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about process. I want to delve
Cool.
in because we've talked so much in our first episode, kind of got to know you more, how you got your start and everything, what you're doing. Process wise, I understand you're a Procreate guy, right?
Yes, mostly
Yeah.
Procreate.
So just for the listeners, Procreate is an application, an app that you can get on your iPad to do, well, tons of comic book artists draw and ink their entire books on iPad now. Like
Hmm.
there's several where that's their workflow is everything's in Procreate and they're from pencils to inks to everything. They're going in there and doing the work. So for you, like, and just so people know, like Photoshop kind of was the OG, like that was what everybody used to color on
Yeah.
the computer. And
And it's
then,
still the industry standard, I would say, is
yes,
Photoshop.
still the industry standard, probably a lot more people on that workflow. There is a full version of Photoshop on iPad too that you can get. So theoretically you could do your coloring on there, but
Hmm.
Procreate and Clip Studio are kind of the other two. Clip Studio more marketed towards comic creation
Yeah.
solely. Procreate kind of like almost a more streamlined, better version of Photoshop in a way.
Yeah. So I personally use all three.
Okay.
So I use Photoshop for kind of like the page setup, and also the end to switch it to CMYK and like
Yeah.
get it ready for print. That's what I mainly use Photoshop for. I use Clip a lot to do my flats because there's certain things that you can do in Clip that you
Yeah.
can't do in
They
Photoshop
have
that
some
make
of
it a
the
little
really
bit
cool
easier.
they have some of the really cool selection tools that save a lot of time and
Yeah.
everything.
So I use Clip mostly for my flats and like getting stuff ready to color. And then I use Procreate to actually do the rendering, but not because I don't like the others. It's just when I started coloring, I got an iPad and that's
Yeah.
what was on there and that's what I learned on. And
Hmm.
then by the time I was able to afford getting a Cintiq or whatever, I was just too far gone. Like
Yeah.
I was much faster on Procreate because I had already created my workflow on it and my
Yeah.
brushes and all that. That like I kind of just like, all right, well, I just work on here.
Yeah.
I wish there was some things in Procreate that there's things in Procreate that would make the app better if
Like if it
the
did
develop.
gradients better? Like if it did gradients like
No, not
Photoshop?
necessarily. Because I don't use a gradient tool anyway. I do my
Okay.
gradients with like I use like a big soft brush and just like paint it in.
Okay.
So in that respect, no, it's more the
Because
selection
the
tool.
because the old school Photoshop way was like dragging the gradients and doing all of
Yeah,
that on your cuts and everything.
yeah. And again, since I didn't learn in Photoshop, I never used that.
Yeah.
But the selection tool mostly is the one thing that needs a
Procreate
little love.
selection the Procreate
Yeah.
selection tool is pretty damn cool.
But it could be better
It
if
could
it
be
was
better.
actually like if it actually acted like a magic wand because
That's the part.
yeah, in Photoshop, if people don't know a magic wand tool, what you use it for in coloring is if you have your flats, let's say you have a character that appears in the panel and the page 6 times
Yeah.
and you have his shirt is the same color in all the places where he appears. In Photoshop, you can use the magic wand tool to select the shirt and it will select the shirt on everywhere that color appears on the page.
Yes.
In Procreate, you can't do that. You have to
No.
click every single time.
Yeah.
and select it. And if there's stuff in the way, then you got to click all around to make sure you got all the stuff right. So it's
I
a
was
pain in the
thinking
butt.
of I was thinking more of like the lasso. I think the lasso, the being able to draw for me, like being able to have more control over drawing, like if you're doing your cuts and everything,
Hmm.
because I remember the old days of doing that with the
Yeah.
with the lasso tool in
Uh-huh.
in Photoshop. So
Yeah.
I like the ability to draw with the pen in Procreate for the
Yeah.
lasso. But yeah, I
And that's
totally
another thing
agree.
too, that a lot of guys do the cut and grad method with the lasso tool, because the lasso tool is a little bit limited also in Procreate, where
Mm-hmm.
you in Photoshop you can lasso, but then there's an option with the magic wand to take your selection, so you can be messy with the lasso, and then you can use the magic wand to shrink it within
Yeah,
whatever thing you want. They don't have that in Procreate. So
can't do
because
it
of that,
both. Yeah,
you have to be super precise, which for me was like, I'm not doing
yeah.
this. So I don't use a lot of lasso in my process. I mostly just use brush, and I paint only with brush.
Hence why you're using 3 programs to accomplish what you want to do. There
Well,
still is
not the
no,
painting part. The painting
yeah,
part I
yeah,
do
yeah, the
all in
painting
Procreate.
part, but I mean, just like there's no perfect app, at least right now.
Procreate is close if they just fix a
Close.
couple of things, but
Maybe
you
they
still need
will.
Photoshop to get the page finished and sent to
Yeah.
print, because nothing is better than Photoshop at actually getting the page ready for print and it being an accurate representation when it goes to print.
I will say this for Procreate, they do seem very receptive to feedback and implementing new features, especially like this new overhaul with the brush system and everything they just
Hmm.
did. So hopefully if enough people speak on the things you're talking
Yeah.
about, they'll add that, because those seem, compared to completely overhauling the way they handle the brushes, seems like the stuff you're talking about would be in theory pretty easy to implement in
And you
comparison.
got
But
apps like Fresco and Clip Studio that already do that. So
yeah,
it's, not impossible.
yeah.
And I know people that have been saying this about Procreate since the app came about,
Since
you
day
know?
one, yeah,
I know I've been saying it forever, but
yeah.
my workaround is what I do when I get my flats ready and clip. This is a huge pain in the butt, but it saves me a lot of time when I do it this way. I will go in and select all my things in clip and make new layers with my selections filled in,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Because what you can do in Procreate is save selections. So I'll go
Yes.
in and have everything, you know, like how I would have selected it with the magic wand. And I go in and save all my selections. So that's kind of my workaround
Yeah,
the magic wand problem. But it takes a long time.
it does. Yeah,
But it's less time than having to go in and select everything.
exactly. What would you say what kind of time frame are you working within when you do let's say a cover? How long does it take you to knock out a cover from start to finish now? Like I'm sure you're getting faster because you're doing more and more projects.
It's hard to say with covers, because covers can take a really long time or it can be really fast.
Yeah.
Some covers you would think are fast but take the longest. Like if it doesn't have a background, you think, oh, it's just a figure, I'm gonna do it fast.
Yeah.
But then you get into it and you're like, what am I gonna do in this background? And that can take a long time.
Yeah.
But I would say on average, 4 to 6 hours on a
Okay.
cover. Like
Yeah.
I usually will do either one cover a night or two, depending on if the first one goes fast. For pages, on my fast days, I do like 3 a night, but I like to go more about like 2 a night,
Okay. So
because
two's your max for maintaining the quality level you probably expect from yourself, right?
I can do 3 if I have to. I can do 3 and still keep the quality up. It's just a matter of like, am I gonna go to sleep at 2 or 4?
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. Because you're doing all this. I mean, you're still working a regular job, right?
No, I work full
Okay.
time. I'm just a full time dad.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, you family time, and then after family time, you do your coloring, or you come on here and hang out with me.
Yeah, so like in my case, it's I could work a regular job in the daytime to send my son to daycare or whatever, but I would just be working to pay for a daycare.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd rather just stay home and I'll take care of him and not have to pay for that, and then I'll work at night than spend all this money to have someone else raise my son, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a great appreciation for you that you're doing that. So as we start getting closer to the end, I want to give you a chance to talk about anything that you can talk about that you want people to look for. I think we covered some of it towards the start, but is there anything else that you have coming up that you're able to let us know about?
Yeah, so I have a bunch of Spawn stuff, so always look out for Spawn stuff coming out covers.
Nice.
I have um this new book coming out for a tabletop game called Alpha Clash,
Oh, nice.
and they're like a big tabletop game. Was like in the beginning they were just had cards with like heroes and characters, but now they're doing a book to like create a lore for the game. And so I have 4 issues coming out of that.
Sweet.
I'm also the colorist on the upcoming Dark Souls miniseries with
Oh,
Mann
badass.
and George Mann. So I'm excited for people to check that out. We put out a couple of preview pages this month, so that's gonna be a cool one.
Your plate is
Uh,
full.
yeah, yeah. It's I'm working, trying to get in there,
Nice.
man. And yeah, just actually I have one of the covers for the relaunch of Youngblood. The colorist on with
Oh,
Daniel Warren
dude.
Johnson. So that's
That's
like
right. You
insane.
did what was that like?
It was cool. It was like super random. Rob posted online that he was like, "Oh, I'm looking for a colorist."
Yep.
I commented. A few people actually like were
I
like,
think
"Yeah,
I
this dude's
tagged you.
cool."
I think I reposted or commented and said,
Yeah,
this
I
guy.
appreciate that. And
Yeah.
he must have taken notice from people like kind of vouching for me, and he just hit me up. I was like, "Hey, you want to color a thing?" I was like, yes."
Yes, please.
So that was an unexpected, like, very cool thing that happened.
Yeah, that's really cool. Such an opportunity too. Like, it's really neat to see the reception this Youngblood, this new Youngblood series is
Yeah.
receiving. Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of it is nostalgia for guys like me that came up on that stuff. But
Hmm.
from the sounds of it, he's getting a whole new fan base with it too, because I know he was just in talks about a video game again and some
Mm.
animation and everything else. So it's like it's kind of sparking up again and
Yeah.
gaining some traction in modern times.
And Rob is very smart with the way that he's like pursuing these new avenues of business with
Yeah,
whatnot and like direct sales and all that. He's kind of, I don't know, I feel like he's creating like a new way for people to get their comic books out there other than like Kickstarter
yeah,
and whatever. Because that's another one, man. Like if you get your name out there and you're a well-known creator, you don't even have to go to Image anymore. You can just make your
right.
book and sell it yourself.
Yeah, and I encourage any aspiring creator to go listen to the two most recent episodes of Rob Liefeld's show, aka Robservations, because he kind of gives the blueprint for upcoming creators, like how he thinks you can go out and make a name for yourself and make your own, create your own properties and things. So that was pretty cool to hear him break that down. I think you're right. It's like a whole new, like he kind of, hit off that image revolution, and now he's changing the game again with this and showing
Hmm.
people kind of an alternative method now, utilizing the tools that we have available to us in modern times.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like with the way that the pace of change with everything right now, the business in 20 years is gonna be unrecognizable, you know?
Yeah,
We can't even conceive of the ways that people are gonna be, pushing product or making their business in the future.
for sure. Well, Steve, I know it is much later where you're at. We got to have you. I mean, it's about 10 after 10 there. So I want to give you a chance to let everybody know where can they find you online? Where's the best place? I know you have a mild aversion to social media, but you do your best to keep up. But where are the best places that they can follow you and see any new promotional materials, keep track of what you have coming out so they can support?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Steve Cannon, Twitter or X, whatever people call it these days, Steve Cannon _. Pretty much anywhere, I'm Steve Cannon. So
Nice.
yeah,
You have
you know,
one that you gravitate towards more than the other?
I think right now Instagram is where
Yeah,
I've been spending most of my time. X is getting a little much with all the,
I
you know,
agree with
the
the world.
commentary.
We'll just say the
Yeah,
world in general.
exactly.
It can
Like,
be a little much to see on there. Yeah. It's hard,
yeah,
even if you curate it too. It pops up. It's, hey, don't you want to see this? I'm like,
yeah,
hide, hide. I don't want to see this.
I
I don't want to
know.
see this. I
And
just
it
want to
sucks
see
because I used to
comics.
like it.
Yeah. I just want to see comics and maybe puppies and kittens. That's all I want you to show me.
Yeah, and they're all kind of in heading in that direction, all the social
Yeah,
medias, especially right now, because that's what makes money is getting people
exactly.
clicking on things.
Engagement.
But at least in IG, you can just look at pictures and funny videos and
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize because they kind of don't make it very apparent. But like, if you're very selective with who you're following, in the upper left on the app, you can just say, I only want to see posts from the people I'm following.
hmm
Because most people leave it on like that recommended thing, and then it's
yeah,
showing you
yeah,
all that other crap that you don't want to
yeah.
see, right?
But then again, the recommended shows you some stuff that you never come across, and you're like, oh, this is cool.
That's the double-edged sword of it. Because
hmm
I've discovered so many amazingly talented creators that I didn't know about through that.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's hard to curate it in a perfect way, man. But I'm glad
yeah,
I found you, and I'm glad that you chose to come back on and spend some time with me. So
absolutely.
I
Anytime.
greatly appreciate you. I know I'm going to have you on again in the future, and we'll get you on here with the Tartan Ninja, Mr. Chris Leithwood, as well. So we have
Yes,
a
sir.
dual colorist on at the same time. That's going to be a fun one. And hang out with me for a moment,
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely.
Look out for that episode. It's going to be coming up once we get our schedules aligned. I'll be having both Steve and Chris on here to get more insights into coloring and their careers. Make sure you check us out on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We now have the video versions on Spotify as well. So every past episode also has the video version for you. I tediously spent almost 2 weeks uploading over 70 videos, with many of them failing and crashing and me having to re-encode them. So I put a lot of work into for you guys because I know a lot of you really like Spotify. So make sure you check those out. If you ever want to give a little more support, take the support to the next level for the podcast, you can go on for as low as $7 a month over on Patreon. A lot of exclusives I have in the works for you guys over there. And in the meantime, everybody, keep it nerdy.